Hi, welcome back to another edition of Max and Nicky 1000th Time Reactions,
where we react to a song after listening to it for our 1000th time.
We release 3 videos a day.
Every day.
So make sure to hit that subscribe button.
And turn on post notifications.
So you don't miss out on all this great content of ours. That's right, I am wearing gray on gray right now. Kind of an interesting look, I'm realizing. But anyway, what song are we going to be listening to right now, Max?
We're going to listen to She's Not There by the Zombies.
We've definitely listened to the song way more than 1,000 times. But for all intents and purposes, we'll call it our 1,000th time.
If you're new to the channel, what we like to do here is listen to the song all the way through without stopping. And then after that, then we'll talk about how we feel about the song.
Our reaction to it.
We'll go into depth about... what we thought about it.
No, we'll go into some in-depth analysis.
And the production.
We'll go into some in-depth analysis.
Okay, we'll go into in-depth analysis.
Exactly.
Yes.
Max clearly didn't have that part rehearsed.
Well, sure. It's not like everything's rehearsed on this channel. Well, no, we don't rehearse. We don't rehearse most of what we're trying to talk about on this channel. Maybe the beginning stuff is. Well, it's just we've done it so many times.
Sure. Anyway, as a reminder, as we usually do, we have another YouTube channel called Max and Nicky, on which we perform oldies tunes like this one, jazz standards and originals in that vein. In fact, we do a cover of another Zombies song called Tell Her No. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. We'll probably do a reaction video to that later on.
And we'll put the link to that cover in the description of this video, so you guys can check that out if you'd like.
We also have comedy videos on that channel if you're interested in checking that out.
Sure. But for right now, let's get to listening to She's Not There by the Zombies.
For our 1,000th time.
Here we go.
Well, no one told me about her, the way she lied. Well, no one told me about her, how many people cried. But it's too late to say you're sorry. How would I know? Why should I care? Please don't bother trying to find her. She's not there. Well, let me tell you about the way she looked, the way she had tan, the color of her hair. Her voice was soft and cool, her eyes were clear and bright, but she's not there. Well, no one told me about her. What could I do? Well, no one told me about her, though they all knew. But it's too late to say you're sorry. How would I know? Why should I care? Please don't bother trying to find her. She's not there. Well, let me tell you about the way she looked, the way she had tan, the color of her hair. Her voice was soft and cool, her eyes were clear and bright, but she's not there. But it's too late to say you're sorry. How would I know? Why should I care? Please don't bother trying to find her. She's not there. Well, let me tell you about the way she looked, the way she had tan, the color of her hair. Her voice was soft and cool, her eyes were clear and bright, but she's not there.
Man, the production on this song is really interesting. We were listening to the mono version. I don't even know if there's a stereo version available. There might be. But something I noticed...
Ends interestingly, just on that
Something
very
I noticed...
quick cymbal hit, and that's it.
That I always assumed that because Colin Blunstone's voice is so kind of airy and velvety, I guess, that I always thought that there was kind of more reverb on his vocals on this song, but there are points where it sounds like it's very dry, but there's a slapback delay on there that is ever present.
No, I think you're getting confused. You mean like specific words even?
Huh?
Because there are parts that are, I thought it was sounding dry at first on these small parts, but it's actually somebody harmonizing with him on the lower register. And that's causing that he's drier, that other singer. Mm-hmm. That's what's happening.
You mean during the verses?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, there's definitely a slapback delay on his voice.
Da, 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 da,
yeah.
Da, 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 da,
Why should I care?
I think, why should I care? I think there are moments that it's just he's not singing throughout the whole verse, but there's
I'm
a
talking
lower
about
register.
Well, no one told me about her.
Yeah. Ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da. That little snippet, somebody else is singing there at times.
I know, but I'm talking about just, no one told me about her. That part.
Oh.
I mean,
well,
it's definitely not as reverbed out as I thought it was. In fact, the drums have more reverb on it than his vocals, which is really interesting. Yet, that's usually kind of, what do you call it? A characteristic of Phil Spector's wall of sound. But this is definitely not wall of sound. You know
what I noticed on this recording itself is they're not quite in time all the time. Actually, they're not quite in the pocket all the time.
They're probably playing it, in a studio, but all together live. They're not tracking separately, probably.
Sure, and actually, in fact, I don't know if it was this or Tell Her No. One of those, I think they weren't too happy about the way it came out. Actually, they were, because they had to kind of quickly rush and do it.
Sure.
Apparently.
Well, this was their first hit song.
This
and
is their first hit.
This they were very young when they
were very young. Yes.
I think they were like
17, even
maybe 18, maybe 19. Or they were very young. Younger than the Beatles were when the Beatles got
big, successful. Yeah. But Rod Argent, though, they're on the key on the keys there, or was it organ? Sorry. Organ. I believe. Yeah. And he's soloing out like he normally does. Let's see. Was there something else? Did you want to mention about this song?
Well, yes, I wanted to mention the bass.
Oh,
for a 60s recording of this nature, you can hear the bass pretty darn well, actually, which is, in a lot of those early Beatles songs, you can't hear the bass as well. Mm-hmm. But this song you can, especially on those breaks. It
kind of has a little bit of a kind of a bossa feel, actually, because in the beginning it goes da 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 da. It has like syncopated feel.
Almost, it's kind of a driving syncopated kind of feel,
Right.
Which maybe causes them to rush a little bit. Maybe that's what's causing them to rush.
Well, kind of in their transition to just the straight ahead kind of rhythm, feeling, Yeah. But it's a groovy song, baby, I gotta say.
It's a great song, and the Zombies are an influence on our own music, and especially their album Odyssey and Oracle. That is definitely one of the great albums of the 60s, for sure.
Well, I would say one of the great albums of all time, actually.
Well, yeah, that's very true. But I think that's going to do it for this reaction video. If you like what you heard and saw today, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications to find out about more Max and Nicky reaction videos. And also, check out our cover of Tell Her No that we'll put in the description below. The link, that is.
Please keep tuning in.